Spirit warriors, the tables are turning. Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal from people who smiled in your face, but secretly hoped you'd fail? Let me tell you about a chosen one named Nia, a quiet soul, heart full of light, always helping others, always uplifting spirits. But the more she shined, the more others around her began to dim, not because she took their light, but because they refused to ignite their own. Friends turned cold, family got distant, rumors were spread, lies were planted. They mocked her dreams, laughed at her faith, but guess what? The very people who tried to bury her forgot one thing: she was a seed. And now they're watching her grow. Spirit warriors, karma doesn't need your help. She has perfect aim. What happens when you remain silent while karma speaks for you? What if I told you the same group that tried to sabotage you is now tripping over the very traps they set? Chosen one, stay with me till the end of this video, because you're about to realize why your silence has been your power, and why the universe is fighting battles on your behalf you didn't even know about. There is no need for revenge. Just sit back and wait. Those who hurt you will eventually screw up themselves, and if you're lucky, God will let you watch. Let's break this down in 7 powerful, spiritual, and jaw-dropping truths that will not only inspire you, but also awaken your soul to what's really happening behind the scenes. Before we dive deep into what's ahead, pause and, like this video, subscribe to help us reach our 1,000 subscriber milestone, and comment the number 99 to seal this message in agreement with heaven. That number isn't random. It carries spiritual power, divine alignment, and confirmation of the new beginning you're stepping into. Number 1, your enemies never expected you to rise, but God did. Let's be real, chosen one. You weren't supposed to make it, not in their narrative. From the start, your light made people uncomfortable, not because you did anything wrong, but because your existence reminded them of everything they denied within themselves. So they did what insecure spirits do. They gossiped, twisted your truth, built circles without you, and tried to turn your kindness into weakness. They assumed that silence meant surrender, that your solitude was shame, that your grace was gullibility. But oh, spirit warriors, the joke's on them. What they didn't know is that your isolation wasn't exile, it was elevation. See, when God sets you apart, it's not to punish you, it's to prepare you. Scientifically, we know that seeds must be buried in darkness before they sprout. You were underground, not overlooked. That season of stillness was sacred. You weren't losing, you were learning. Neuroscience even backs this up. During periods of solitude, the brain reorganizes itself, increasing emotional intelligence and deepening insight. While they were busy performing, you were evolving. And that divine pruning, that wasn't rejection, that was protection. Psalm 23:5 declares it clearly. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. This isn't just poetic, this is prophetic. God doesn't just restore, He reveals. He lets those who mocked you sit front row as you step into everything they said you'd never be. You're not just rising, you're rising publicly, and it's not out of spite, it's out of purpose. Here's the twist they didn't see coming. You weren't playing the same game. They tried to play chess with a checker's mindset, moving out of fear, not faith. But you moved like the queen, deliberate, strategic, and unbothered. Now they're stuck wondering how the one they tried to bury became the blossom that won't stop blooming. So bloom, baby, bloom loud, bloom wide, bloom unapologetically in the cracks they hoped would break you. Your glow isn't for show, it's for service. You're not just surviving, you're thriving on purpose. And yes, you're about to dine in peace while they watch in pieces. Because when you're chosen, even your wilderness becomes a weapon. Keep shining, spirit warriors. Your story is heaven's mic drop. Number 2, jealousy is loud, but karma is louder. Oh, they were loud, weren't they? Those whispers behind your back, the fake concern they showed to your face, all that passive-aggressive shade they threw your way. They thought their words were clever, their actions masked with a smile. But little did they know, spirit warrior, karma doesn't whisper. She doesn't play games. She doesn't sneak around corners or tap you on the shoulder to say, hey, I'm coming for you. No, karma is loud. She doesn't just speak. She echoes through the universe in a way that makes you feel her presence in your very soul. That jealousy they brewed, that poison they so eagerly handed out to anyone who would listen, well, it's bubbling over now, and it's got nowhere to go but back to them. It's showing up in every area of their lives, their finances, their relationships, their inner peace, or should I say their lack of it. When you sow seeds of negativity, those seeds eventually grow, and guess what? They're not always as pretty as they seemed when you planted them. Here's the truth bomb. The same mouths that mocked your pain, the same ones that couldn't wait to tear you down, are now eerily silent. The energy they spent hating on you, trying to dim your light, is now folding in on them. And it's like a boomerang effect. What they sent out into the world is now returning with force, and they're left with nothing but the echoes of their own bitterness. But here's the spiritual reminder. You didn't curse them. You didn't retaliate, didn't stoop to their level. You took the high road, trusting that the universe, in all its wisdom, would handle the dirty work. You let it keep receipts, and now the receipts are being cashed in. And it's not pretty for those who thought they could mess with you without consequence. And the funny punchline, it's hilarious, really. The same people who once called you too deep, too spiritual, or too extra, are now drowning in their own shallowness. Isn't it ironic how those who couldn't understand your growth are now stuck in the very things they once mocked you for? They thought they were above it all, but now they're sinking in the quicksand they created with their own hands. Karma's funny like that. It always has the last laugh. Number 3, their masks are falling off and people are seeing the truth. Chosen. 1, when your light is real, it shines bright enough to reveal the truth, even in the darkest corners. It has this unique power to expose what's fake, the illusions and the false facades people put up. You may have noticed that those who once tried to paint you as the villain, those who tried to convince others that you were the problem, are now being revealed for who they truly are. The tables are turning, and they're the ones caught in the spotlight. It's like the universe is doing the heavy lifting of unveiling the truth. People are waking up. Their eyes are opening to the manipulation and false narratives, and they're starting to see the pattern. Every conflict, every fallout, well, it all looks the same now. And guess who's always at the center of the drama? Not you. You've moved beyond the noise. This isn't just a coincidence. This is part of a much bigger spiritual purpose. When God elevates you, it's not just about your growth, your elevation, or your blessings. It's also about clearing the path and protecting His vessels. Your spiritual journey doesn't just bring you closer to your divine purpose. It also reveals the intentions of those around you. Those who thought they could manipulate or deceive are now being exposed. But here's the kicker. It's not happening out of spite or vengeance. God isn't revealing them to shame them. It's happening to protect you, to shield your energy, and to show you who is meant to stay in your life and who isn't. The light you're emitting serves as a divine filter, keeping you safe from the toxic and the false. And if we're being honest, this situation is giving major reality TV meltdown vibes, the kind where the drama is so intense and the truth comes out so clearly that all you can do is watch in silence. You didn't even have to raise your voice. The truth did the talking for you, and now everyone can see what was really going on. It's like you've stepped into the role of the observer in your own life's drama, while the universe does the rest. Talk about effortless justice. You just keep shining, and the rest will unfold in divine timing. Number 4, silence is your revenge and karma's microphone. Oh, spirit warriors, there's a quiet strength that comes when you choose to walk in peace, especially in moments when the world around you is chaotic and loud. When others expect you to react, to defend, to spill receipts, you resist. You decide instead to keep walking in love, staying focused on your divine journey while the noise rages on. That silence, it's louder than any clapback or heated exchange could ever be. While you're quietly healing, growing, and glowing, your enemies are caught in the whirlwind of their own insecurities and obsessions. They can't understand why you haven't crumbled under their attacks or retaliated in kind. What they don't realize is that your silence isn't a sign of weakness, it's your inner power in full force. In fact, in the spiritual realm, that very silence is a declaration of strength. When you refrain from engaging in conflict, when you choose peace over drama, something powerful happens. The universe, your angels, and even God hear your stillness as a call for divine intervention. Exodus 14:14 reminds us, "The Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still." While your enemies fumble around in their attempts to tear you down, you stand firm, rooted in faith, and trust that your spiritual warriors are on the case. The more they try to pull you into their chaos, the more you become an unshakable force, an immovable mountain. And trust me, while they're obsessing over what they think you're doing, angels are already setting things right for you. Sometimes the most powerful action is no action at all. It's in those moments of peaceful silence that you are aligning with the divine plan, and the universe works behind the scenes to shift things in your favor. Remember, never argue with someone who's digging their own grave. They may be too caught up in their own mess to notice, but you're on a higher frequency, preserving your peace and watching as things fall into place around you. Bless your peace, for it's your greatest weapon. Let your enemies waste their energy. You're too busy glowing, growing, and becoming the highest version of yourself. Number 5, you were the assignment they failed to destroy. Let that sink in for a moment. Picture this. They had meetings about you, strategizing, conspiring behind closed doors, secret group chats, whispers behind your back, and shady remarks thrown like confetti at a celebration. Their envy, their jealousy, all aimed at dimming your light. But despite all their efforts, there you are, glowing, unbothered, unstoppable. What they didn't realize is that they were messing with someone divinely protected. You aren't just any person. You're someone covered in favor, someone whose steps are guided by a higher purpose. While they plotted, your path was already ordained, and no amount of negativity, no weapon formed against you could ever shake your foundation. As it says in Isaiah 54:17, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And let's be clear, this isn't just about physical weapons, it's about all the spiritual ones too, the envy, the gossip, the sabotage. They were playing checkers while you were playing chess, moving in alignment with your purpose and divine calling. But let's take a moment for some sassy reflection. You weren't just the subject of their whispers, you were the lesson. Your life, your resilience, your ability to keep shining even when the world tries to snuff you out was the lesson they needed. Whether they admit it or not, they saw your strength, your unwavering faith, and your ability to rise above, and it spoke volumes more than any of their petty schemes ever could. The real question is, did they take notes? Because the truth is, you're a walking testimony of what it looks like when someone is truly covered by divine favor. So while they spent time and energy plotting, you kept rising higher, your light only becoming brighter. The lesson here is simple. No matter how hard they try, nothing can dim the light of someone walking in purpose. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. And when you're chosen, not even the shadows can keep you from shining. Number 6, what they meant for evil, God used for glory. This is where the divine flip happens, not by accident, but by divine design. You see, spirit warriors, every betrayal wasn't just a wound, it was a wake-up call. When they lied to you, it wasn't just to break you down, it was to sharpen your spiritual sight so precisely that you could now smell deception a mile away. The lies didn't blind you, they trained your inner eye to spot wolves in sheep's clothing. That betrayal, it didn't destroy you. It became the fire that forged a soul too resilient to be shattered. And the abandonment, oh, that was the ultimate training ground. When they left you, you learned to stand with God alone. No crutches, no validation, no applause, just you and the Most High. And that right there is unshakable power. Chosen one, you're not just surviving, you're thriving in realms most can't even perceive. Why? Because every dark thing they threw your way, God used it like divine compost. The hate, the gossip, the rejection, they didn't kill you. They fertilized your purpose. Like a seed buried in the dirt, it may have looked like the end, but it was only the beginning of your germination. You weren't buried, you were planted. And now you're sprouting in places they never expected. That platform you're standing on, built out of pain, tears, long nights, and heavenly trust. Romans 8:28 doesn't play when it says all things work together for good for those who love God. Not some things, not just the good or the easy, all. That includes the betrayal, the failure, the loss, the backstabbing, the loneliness, the depression, the bankruptcy, and the divorce, all of it. Heaven recycles pain into power and suffering into strategy. And let's be real. They thought they were silencing you, burying your voice, ending your influence. But in trying to shut you down, they accidentally handed you the mic. The very people who tried to destroy your spirit, God used them to develop your testimony. And now look, you're louder, stronger, and more spiritually lethal than ever before. Witty snapback? God flipped the script so hard, they're still trying to figure out what happened. You're not walking in the ruins of your past. You're rising in the resurrection power of purpose. Watch them squint, trying to recognize the person they thought they buried. Surprise, it's a whole new you. Number 7, your glow up is their wake-up call. Nothing teaches quite like irony served on a golden platter. And Spirit Warrior, there's no lesson sharper than watching someone rise after they were written off. When they tried to break you, mock your vision, or dim your light, they didn't realize they were actually fueling your glow-up. But your transformation, oh, it's not the kind you get from a trending skincare routine or a wardrobe overhaul. No, this glow-up is divine, it's cosmic, it's soul deep. What they're witnessing now is a spiritual metamorphosis, a rebirth forged in fire, refined in solitude and crowned in purpose. This isn't just about winning in the worldly sense, though let's be honest, the success isn't exactly subtle, but the real triumph, it's your peace. That unshakable, unbothered calm that radiates louder than any clapback. It's your joy, the kind that bubbles up not from things but from within. It's the divine alignment that turns every step you take into a statement. I listened, I trusted, and now I'm blessed. Your energy has become a spiritual currency, authentic, powerful, and unmistakable. And guess what? That can't be copied, mimicked, or faked. People feel it, and it's making them rethink everything they thought they knew about you. Remember those folks who chuckled behind closed doors about your unrealistic dreams? Yeah, they're watching now. Not just watching, they're invested, obsessed. They've got spiritual FOMO and don't even know it. Because you didn't just survive what they threw at you, you alchemized it. You turned betrayal into boundaries, pain into power, and setbacks into stages. You're not just walking in purpose, Earth Angel, you're dancing in overflow. Living, breathing proof that obedience to divine timing always pays off. Sometimes not right away, but always right on time. And as for Karma, oh, she didn't just pass out a detention slip, she assigned them a full syllabus. Homework, check. Pop quizzes, check. Graded with no curve and no mercy. They thought they were the authors of your ending, but surprise, they were just background extras in your origin story. Here's the funny part, they lined up for your downfall like it was a premiere event. But plot twist, they're now VIP guests at your victory tour. Hope they brought snacks. It's going to be a long show. Spirit Warriors, this journey wasn't easy, but it was necessary. You didn't lose, you learned, and now Karma is doing the work you never had to. Chosen one, you are the testimony, you are the miracle. And you are the proof that God doesn't play about his own. So hold your head high, walk in your power. Let your light keep shining. Because while your enemies are trying to figure out how you're still standing, you're already preparing for your next elevation. Stay awake on your spiritual journey. Let Karma continue her lesson plan. And you keep glowing. The best revenge is peace. And oh baby, you're glowing in it.